the finished product. Whether last year you went through 5 quarterbacks and then you thought you had it with Baker Mayfield, but then you didn't like that last piece on the Lego puzzle, and you're right. It just seems like the rebuild is never quite fully finished.
Hayden, before we get you out of here, how many more games do you think Deshaun starts this year?
Ooh, I like this.
I could see him finishing out the year. I really could.
Come on.
I know. I'm right there with you. I think it's horrendous.
What does Kevin Stefanski say week 14 of why he's still playing? Like, we're trying to get the number 1 overall pick? That's why he's out here?
I think, I've kind of it's crazy. I don't know what is going on in the organization. Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time coach of the year. He's a pretty, respected guy, and just the things that they're saying make no sense. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I could see him starting the rest of the year. I really can, because, as you said, maybe he wouldn't say it outright, but obviously they'd be, tanking for the first pick or whatever. I do. I think he's going to start for a while, and there's no end in sight, it's tough.
Yeah, that's not going to be fun. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll check in again soon, okay?
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too. There he goes. Our good friend Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to give you a crash course in what not to say as a college football coach. We'll do that in Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, still watching a crash on 33 westbound out in Marysville, just past Northwest Parkway. Watch for that as crews are working to clear it up right now. And then still tracking delays on the southeast side. This is on I-270 southbound leading up to Alum Creek Drive. We've got the right lanes blocked off. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey folks, Bobby Carpenter here. I picked up my brand new Toyota Tundra last week, and I absolutely love it. From my guy Marcello at Germain Toyota. And right now, you can lease the powerful Toyota Tundra SR5 for just $409 per month. That's 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. Built to handle tough jobs and thrilling journeys. The Toyota Tundra SR5 is the ultimate companion for work and play. These deals are rolling out fast, so don't wait. Visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. you can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and fall is in the air, and that really gets me going for a delicious, savory breakfast like the Bob Evans new value menu with a whole lot of fresh breakfast options for just $5.99. I love the new griddle stacker with a sausage patty, American cheese, bacon, and a fried egg. But get this, 3 mini hot cakes. You're going to love it too. Here's the best part, the price. It's right in your wheelhouse. It's in my wheelhouse. It's starting at only $7.99. Stacked high and price low. Check them out at bobevans.com or on the new mobile app.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Ready or not, here comes winter. You might need an ice scraper as you head off to your car today because it is a cold one out there with many of you down around that freezing mark. Today we're looking at partly cloudy skies, high 55. Tonight it gets even colder. We have a freeze warning in effect. Many of you dipping down to freezing or possibly below freezing. Tomorrow, look for sunny skies, high 62. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
In high school, Bobby was a district swimming finalist. Also, Beamer still wears floaties. This is Morning Juice.
We're here on The Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Boatman, happy Wednesday to you.
Happy Wednesday, guys. We'll start with college football here. West Virginia, they've had a little bit of a disappointing season so far as they are 3-3 on the season. Now their head coach, Neil Brown, is under some fire for his recent comments aimed at the fan base following their ISU, Iowa State, loss last weekend. Here's what he had to say, quote, "I get they want to win, but what I would say is, did you have a good time? Did they enjoy it? It was a pretty good atmosphere. You know, I'm assuming they probably had a good time tailgating, so they're in the deal for enjoyment. Then I would come back. I looked at the weather. It's going to be nice again this coming weekend. It's a night game, and we need them to provide a home field advantage. This Saturday night, guys, WVU will host number 17 Kansas State at 7:30. I respect any coach trying to get the best home field advantage you can, try to get the fans riled up for the big game there, but Beamer, not sure that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Did you have a good time? Bodie, did you have a good time?
Isn't that for us to talk about, like, yeah, I'm going to go down to the game. I'm going to have a couple of soda pops. I'm taking my family to the game. We're going to have a great
drunk?
time. Yeah, did you? How many did you have?
Did you meet a lovely lady
Did you
there?
overserve yourself? Like, yeah, that's good. It's supposed to be a good time.
Babe.
But when you're sitting at 3-3, coming off an overachieving year last year, and you're already kind of doing this dance of being on the hot seat or not,
When they've played teams tough, they just haven't maybe got all the results that they need. Like, they haven't looked bad this year. They've just had a fairly tough schedule.
That's a bad thing to say. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Like, at least our fans at least we had a good time. Like, no, Lane Kiffin actually was kind of talking about this, not in the same sense. I don't think he heard the Neil Brown comments. But during his press conference yesterday, Lane Kiffin was like, yeah, I'm actually happy that our fans are upset because that means the expectations in our program has changed to a place that we want to win. So,
that's an appropriate way to handle it.
That's an appropriate way to handle it. I don't like some of the things that Lane does with the injuries and stuff down there at Ole Miss necessarily.
Kelly, that ticked me off.
Yeah, I know that upset you. But that's a way to answer a question like that. Not saying, well, at least what'd you spend, $500 and you had a good time? Yeah, sure. Come on down.
He could have just went, where else are you going to go?
He could have dropped that. He could have dropped the Castellini special.
In the Mountaineer State to
Nowhere.
get drunk in the middle of the day.
No, actually,
your best option.
Probably everywhere. You could probably do that a lot of different places.
All right, guys, next up, guess who's back? Back again. Oh, it'd probably help if I turned on Dad 5 here. Guess who's back again? Try this a second time.
Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited himself, Russell Wilson. He's back in consideration to start for Pittsburgh on Sunday this week against the Jets. That's what Mike Tomlin told the media on Tuesday. Tomlin said that he would make his choice between Wilson and Justin Fields as the starting quarterback closer to game time. He also didn't rule out playing both quarterbacks, which always works out really well. Carp, the Pittsburgh offense, they've been just okay this year. What do you think of the move? A potential move.
They said they're going to trade Mr. Unlimited to the Cowboys.
Okay.
Jerry's looking to bolster that lineup.
Trading him to the Browns.
We'll take Russ and be in a race with Cleveland for the number 1 pick.
Mike Tomlin is doing a great job of slow playing this.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, it is the ultimate coy slow play of all time.
It's been 6 weeks.
And they're 4-2?
4-2.
And Justin's listen, he isn't throwing for 5,000 yards, but they're winning games. And the reality is, Justin can do things with his legs at this stage in his career that Russell can't anymore.
Mike Tomlin was asked about that. He's like,
"Are you saying he's limited, or
do you feel like Russ?"
No, he's always
he's always unlimited.
Steeler Nation,
but he is limited.
Steel down, Steel got it.
Let's forge. Mike Tomlin was asked about this too. Like, does Russell give you the same explosive plays that Justin does out of the backfield? And Mike Tomlin, no, just straight up, no.
I mean, Justin's an elite athlete. Russell is. I played against Russell Wilson.
Yeah, but let me ask you.
Russell was old.
So this offense that they're running, and their offensive line isn't what they used to. Like if you watch the Pittsburgh Steelers,
they can run the ball pretty well.
With Justin.
And Justin moves around. They've been throwing it well enough. He hasn't been turning it over, and they've been efficient, and they've been getting wins.
Justin this year has just over 1,000 yards. He's got 1,100 yards this season. He's got 5 touchdowns. He has 1 pick. Najee Harris leads the team in rushing through 6 weeks at 376 yards. Justin Fields right on his tail at 231 yards. I mean, they're averaging as a team 4.0 yards per carry. That's good enough to win in the NFL. You need to limit turnovers. I'm not exactly sure why you would bench a guy who has got you to 4-2. Now, if it goes a little bit sideways and maybe at one point, Bob, you're staring down the barrel of like a 4-5 or a 4-4, but then you want to go see what Russ has in the tank.
Oh, yeah, for what, the future?
You know what I mean? I don't
play Russ to see what we got for next year.
But he has done enough to win you 4 out of the 6 games that you've played. Why make the move now?
And by the way, he did enough to win the other game. I mean, they're snapping the ball when he's not ready for it. I mean, in the middle of the field, he played you back into the game. Who did they play 2 weeks ago?
The Colts.
The Colts. They're right there on the cusp of getting that done.
They should have beat the Cowboys on that rain-delayed Sunday night football game.
Listen, if you lose to Dallas, you got a big problem.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that
Only
much.
on the road.
They are undefeated on the road. Now, they get absolutely their doors blown off in Arlington.
Mike Tomlin's playing this as well as he can. Because if they started Russell, you might see him look like Ned Stark episode 10, season 1, head on a pike.
You can't kill the main character.
His locker room would mutiny on him.
Yeah, you can't do that. We'll do one more here, Boats.
All right, guys, last one this Saturday, and arguably the biggest college football game of the season. Number 12 Notre Dame will face Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Now the Yellow Jackets, they unfortunately are going to lose another home game next season as they're set to face Georgia, the Bulldogs, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2025. Beam, I have to imagine they make this decision because of the money, but because otherwise giving up a home game to one of your quote-unquote rivals. I know Georgia Tech, and Georgia isn't exactly the game or anything, but it's their rival, and giving up a home game like that just doesn't make sense otherwise.
I hate it. I hate that we're playing neutral field, more neutral field
Well,
games.
The thing is, those neutral field games, that's a better situation for them in Atlanta.
Well, yeah.
Georgia Tech's actually in Atlanta.
Yeah.
and they're going to a bigger stadium. They'll make more money. There'll be more Georgia fans there, but that's
25,000 more Georgia fans, probably.
But that's just the reality of what they've got to deal with.
The Dan Lanning 12 men on the field rule could be changed as soon as this weekend. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Wednesday. Right now, still watching a crash on the southeast side. This is on I-270 southbound. As you're approaching Alum Creek Drive, watch for delays because of a crash that has the right lanes blocked. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates as low as 9.90% APR with a Visa Platinum credit card from BMI FCU. BMIFCU.org/Visa.
I'll be honest, I'm really worried about my kids and grandkids. I never thought we'd be facing a national abortion ban in this country.
That's Kim. She lives in Cincinnati and is a grandma to 6.
If something happened to my family, I'd want them to have all the help they need. But with a national ban, they'll have nowhere to turn.
Bernie Moreno supports a national abortion ban, and he has said he is 100% against abortion with no exceptions. And if Moreno's in the Senate, he could be the deciding vote to pass a national abortion ban.
Last year, we voted to protect abortion in Ohio. Now, Bernie Moreno wants to get rid of that completely. It's simple. I don't trust Bernie Moreno to do what's right for my family. He should never be Ohio's senator.
Your Community PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Your Community PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at yourcommunitypac.org.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, what?
Would you please just call the Waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. Better care, better value, better results.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all-new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, everybody. Well, so we'll start with baseball in Game 2 of the ALCS. Aaron Judge went 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer and 3 RBIs to guide the Yankees to a 6-3 win over the Guardians last night. Cleveland's offense went 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position and twice left the bases loaded in the loss. New York now leads the series 2-0. Game 3 is in Cleveland tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, the NLCS resumes tonight in New York with Game 3 between the Mets and Dodgers. First pitch is at 8:08. That series is tied at 1 game apiece. And in hockey, on a night that felt much bigger than the final score as the team honored the lives of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, the Jackets fell to the Panthers 4-3 at Nationwide Arena last night. Columbus falls to 1-2 on the young season. Next up, they host Buffalo tomorrow night. This update is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. With the drastic rise of diabetes, dementia, and cancers, we've been fooled by foods. Reverse the food curse at awaken180weightloss.com.
One of these guys thinks Clintonville was named after Bill Clinton. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour number 2 of the program for us on a Wednesday. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark on vacation. Our man Bodie Wells behind the glass doing a nice job filling in for him. Coming up here this hour, 7:33 this morning. Head coach of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Dean Evason. He's going to join the program. Emotional night at Nationwide Arena. Jackets fall to the Panthers 4-3 at home against the Sabres coming up tomorrow. But Dean Evason, head coach, going to join us here 7:33 this morning and 1 hour away from right now. Head coach, Ohio State men's basketball team, Jake Diebler. He's going to join us in studio. Season gets underway, kind of exhibition game coming up on Friday against the Cincinnati Bearcats. So a lot to talk to Deebs about coming up here 1 hour away from right now, around 8:05.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I said Jackets fall to the Panthers last night, 4-3 at Nationwide Arena for the season opener. It was a pretty remarkable tribute that you saw at Nationwide last night for Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau.
Oh, absolutely. Just the 5 men on the ice leaving his spot open, the 13 seconds at the beginning, the Skittles and the Gatorade. It's the emotional elements that overcome like a tribute like that, a commemoration of a guy who had come here, chosen Columbus, obviously the untimely passing of him and his brother. There's so much that goes into that, and being overwhelmed with emotion early in the game, then to be able to settle out, be able to play, finish it up. It's win, lose, or draw last night. It was nice to be able to have that thing packaged up. It was done well. You would love to have gotten the win. You fall a little short in the third, but now you can begin to move on and emotionally heal and recover. This was kind of that last hurdle that they had. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully now they'll be able to begin to do that.
Yeah, for sure. So they're back at home tomorrow against the Sabres. Again, we'll check in with Dean Evason, head coach of your Blue Jackets, coming up here at 7:33 this morning. Yankees 6, Guards 3, Bob. Yankees take a 2-0 lead back to Cleveland. Tanner Bybee gets yanked after 1 1/3. 5 hits given up, 3 runs. 2 of them were earned, walked 1, 2 strikeouts. I mean, Brian Rocchio coming over, basically middle infield ball, pop fly. I don't know how high the ball went from Aaron Judge. Ball's under Rocchio. He's drifting. Oh, wait, we're on the opposite side of the bag now. Ball goes into the outfield. Runner scores from third. They count it as a sac fly for Aaron Judge. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen a sac fly for a middle infield ball, but that was an error that you had last night, which costs you. You had another error that was made by Will Brennan in the outfield where the ball takes a weird shot off of the wall. He goes to pick the ball up, throws it to home, and misses the ball completely. So gives the runner an extra couple of seconds right there. I mean, it was the errors for Cleveland, I think, is the main storyline from last night, and the fact that you can't get a big hit. Like they strand so many runners in scoring position that
the bases juiced multiple times.
They just need to break on through to the other side. Yeah, bases juiced, I think, for David Fry. And David Fry gets pinch hit in that situation and then sees one pitch and pops the ball up into foul play. Like,
that stings, man.
Yeah,
it stings when you've got runners in scoring position against a lineup like the Yankees that are going to score runs.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to take advantage of it. You can't keep throwing out 2 and 3 runs and expect to win, especially with your pitching staff and the way your starting pitching is. It's not enough. to win a game like that, a bullpen game, you're probably going to have to ask your lineup to deliver 5 or 6 runs, which is what would have been enough. And you had the opportunities to do it. They just weren't able to pull it out, weren't able to follow through and get it done.
No, so 2-0 series disadvantage now. But it does shift back to Cleveland tomorrow. They get a nice little 5 o'clock start downtown Cleveland tomorrow evening for game number 3 of the ALCS. So we'll see what happens in that one. Tonight, Dodgers at the Mets at 8 o'clock. That series is 1-1 as it shifts to New York. And then on Saturday, decision day in MLS. Crew taking on Red Bulls on the road. Last game of the regular season. Really nothing left to play for the Crew. They're already settled into the second spot. But the interesting part about the MLS playoffs is that, it feels like every time the last couple of times that the Crew have been in MLS Cup finals, they've been able to host. Now, what you're going to want to watch here on Saturday, so you are not going to catch Miami. They already won Supporter Shield. But I think LA Galaxy have one more total point than you, Bob. So you got to win. And LA has to either draw or lose.
Okay.
And then if you knock Miami out of the playoffs or somebody does that before you get your opportunity to get to them, then you will host yet again if you get that far MLS Cup. So it will be back in Columbus. But you're going to be watching the Galaxy on Saturday night. There's nothing really left in the Eastern Conference for you to watch other than opponent that you're going to see in the first round.
Okay.
But you got last game of the regular season coming up here in New York on Saturday.
There you go. And wrapping up, hopefully to retain that cup, Beam. You know how much old Don Arbor loves giving us the cup.
He loves coming here to Columbus, man.
It's his favorite place to visit.
I saw this yesterday from Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. NCAA Rules Committee is considering taking in-season action to change how the penalty for putting an extra defender on the field is assessed after Oregon used the current rule to its advantage against Ohio State. Steve Shaw, the Secretary Rules Editor of the NCAA Football Rules Committee. That sounds like an awesome job. Rules Editor of the NCAA Football Rules Committee told Ross Dellinger that the committee is, quote, engaged in examining the rule for possible action after Oregon intentionally sent the 12th defender onto the field on the last second play of the game. The extra defender obviously helped Oregon force an incompletion. Worked out in the Ducks' favor. The play clock ran from 10 seconds down to 6 seconds. Oregon won the game. I don't know exactly what they were going to do in that situation, Bob, in the rule change, but they are now looking at it.
Yeah, because it used to be a 15-yard penalty for player participation a decade ago.
Yeah.
And they changed it to align it more with the NFL. But nobody does this in the NFL because you'd get fined, there'd be other repercussions, and now you're realizing, you got guys feigning injuries. It's only a matter of time before they start trying to circumvent the rules the best that they can.
That Shaw declined to tell Dellinger exactly how the rule would be addressed to the Rules Committee, but an in-season action would likely direct officials to return the game clock to its original time, discouraging defenses from putting the extra defender on the field.
15 yards too.
Yeah, so it would stay the 5-yard penalty, but the original time would go back on the clock. And the reason why it wouldn't be a 15-yarder for like an unsportsmanlike conduct or too many men participating in a play is because the rule can't formally be changed until the offseason.
Yeah. So there you go. They can change that, but I guarantee you they'll make it more punitive. I'm curious why they ever took it away. It's aligned now with the NFL rule. But, yeah, this is the same thing as the feigning of the injuries. Mm-hmm. Like when you're circumventing a rule that was changed or something's in place, that there is some moral obligation in my mind to try. I understand trying to push rules and listen. If you're beat, people are like, well, it's the same thing if you're getting beat at the end of the game, you take a pass interference or whatever. I'm like, that's a subjective call made by the officials. You are doing something to deliberately take advantage to how the rule is written and why that is going to be beneficial to you. The guy going down stops the clock. There's no penalty for that because they're injured, because you're taking into account that they're actually injured. 12 men on the field, you're thinking that the guys are trying to get on and off because legally 11 guys are on there. So the thought is you wouldn't purposefully try to put 12 guys out there to play to your advantage because that's not how many guys are played with. And so that was changed to be, well, if he's running on and off, well, and then this is what you get. So I'm curious to see how this has changed after the season. We'll see kind of where it goes from here. But this is not surprising, especially after he said it was intentional. It looked intentional. And
felt intentional.
It felt intentional.
Bodes, you had a good time cutting this up this morning. How you feeling about your Dallas Cowboys?
Apathetic.
Yeah. Not good?
That's one word, yeah.
Who do we have this weekend?
Bye week, thank God.
Okay.
Can't lose this weekend.
Well,
and then good news, though, we go to San Francisco.
Oh, that sounds good.
And if Detroit scored 47, San Francisco might also score 47.
Yeah, I mean, they say you can't lose the bye week. Jerry Jones may have lost. Jerry Jones may have lost the bye week. So correct me if I'm wrong.
The guy from the radio host in Dallas, he may have lost his bye week.
So I've got it here, Bo.
It's not a joke.
So he does a radio show every week in Dallas, and
By the way, he's the only owner, because that's what people like GMs talk about this all the time.
No, they don't.
He's the only owner. He's the only owner and general manager, but he's the only one of either occupation who has a weekly radio availability and who does like media scrums immediately after games. Now that's good and bad, but nobody else ever has to answer. You don't ever see Andrew Berry going up and talking about like, hey, dude, do you regret the Deshaun Watson signing? I mean, at what point did you? What are we doing now? We traded him. Like no other GM is answering these questions on a regular basis.
So here was Jerry Jones from his radio show yesterday, basically firing the guys who host the radio show.
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. About it. I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay? I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't, and I don't even want our listeners to listen to me, but talk about this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why. A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? You don't really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
Well,
now, listen, we both know we're talking to a lot of great fans and a lot of great listeners, and I am very sorry for what happened out there Sunday.
Thanks, Jerry.
I'm sick about what happened Sunday. Now, I'm not talking to these yahoos on the end of this phone. I'm talking to you, the fans that are listening this morning. And we can spend a lot of time going over zigging and zagging. One of the stupidest things I've ever done that anybody has ever analyzed is by the Cowboys. It was an idiot that did that. So idiot things can turn into good decisions. Okay? Smart things can turn into bad decisions. The facts are that when you make one, you don't really know whether it's going to be good or not at the time. So let's just go ahead. I'm trying to answer your questions, man. You want some conversation this morning? You're getting it.
That was from 105.3 The Fan in Dallas.
Gosh, that's beautiful.
I was uncomfortable listening to that. If I want to be 100% honest with you, that was as bad as it gets with Jerry Jones. I'm not going to be sitting here being told by guys who I pay that I made the wrong decisions.
Well, he doesn't own the station. It's a part. They are the radio partner, though. He's like, we'll find somebody else.
Also, doesn't the radio partner pay the team?
Yeah,
I would imagine. Like we pay the Blue Jackets to air the games, right?
I'm guessing that there's probably a number of stations in Dallas that would line up to do that.
I would have to imagine. Yeah.
God, yeah. What does Ohio State's playoff path look like if they started today? That's next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we're watching a crash on I-71 southbound. The ramp from those southbound lanes to get off at North Broadway slightly blocked off as crews work to clear up an incident. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors. Voted by Columbus homeowners as the leading and most trusted window brand. Find out why at PellaColumbus.com or at their brand new Polaris showroom.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure, not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the dopes at The Fan.
From the mind of a 2-foot-tall talking spokes puppet comes this year's biggest challenge. It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare, the hottest game show on TV that asks, what happens when you compare Bob's to the competition? You get style. You get quality. You get beeps and boops and dings and whomps. And thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or at mybobs.com to play now.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
There's a shocking new government report about the border crisis Sherrod Brown created. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, almost 500,000 convicted criminals have entered our country illegally, including nearly 30,000 found guilty of murder and sexual assault, including rape in their home countries. Now they are spread out across America because of Sherrod Brown's policies. But Sherrod Brown says,
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
That's because Sherrod Brown doesn't listen to voters anymore. And while our safety is being jeopardized, Sherrod Brown is making sure illegals get taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals who get amnesty, Social Security, even COVID relief checks, all paid for by you. 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It is a cold start to your Wednesday morning, everyone. Good morning. If you are just now waking up, temperatures are around freezing out there. Sunny with a high of 55 today. Tonight it gets even colder, going 33 here in Columbus, but outside of Columbus, you'll drop down to below freezing. Tomorrow, sunny skies with a high of 62. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you make a wisecrack about Dayton pizza, Beamer will murder you dead.
Humor. I have it too.
This is Morning Juice.
For Wednesday edition of the program, Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Sharky out on vacay. We got our man Bodes doing a nice job with us here on this Wednesday. Bob, why don't you give me a number right here?
Oh, man. Let's you have number 47, Bodes.
AJ Hawk?
The number of points the Cowboys gave up.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
47th caller.
Let's just go with number 11. We'll add those together.
Caller number 11. You get in right now. 614-821-9710. That's the phone number. You talk to Bodie. You're going to be winning a pair of tickets to Buckeye Country Superfest.
I'm not about to let some host on the radio tell me all the things I've done bad.
No joke. Buckeye Country Superfest returns to Ohio Stadium Saturday, June 21st, 2024. Kane Brown Jelly Roll headlining the events. Tickets will go on sale Friday, October 18th. That is a couple of days from right now at 10 a.m. For more information, you can visit BuckeyeCountrySuperfest.com. Listen, when you own an NFL team and you've got partnership agreements, you can say whatever you want to do. I saw Albert tweet out, and I don't know if Albert was at the NFL meetings yesterday, like the owners' meetings, because that's where Tom Brady got pushed through. As an owner, and they awarded Atlanta the Super Bowl.
In this meeting with 31 other, you can come on and do that.
Albert, what did he tweet? He said the owners' meetings start at noon, and Jerry walked in at like 11:59, didn't give any statement. He's like, I got to go to these meetings. I'm running late. He like intentionally walked in 1 minute before it started so that way he could just blow by everyone.
That's great. Well, in all fairness, he was just on some media availability, beating up some radio hosts immediately prior to that, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. He's one of a kind. I mean, listen, the guy's getting older. He's seen more games played by the Cowboys than he's going to see play.
You think?
I know. He's owned them for 30 years. He's not a vampire. There will be a termination on his life. He would like to see his team win before the end. I think he realizes that win is not coming this year. So he's doing his best to stay alive.
When do you think he realized that?
Probably in that Saints game in the first one, Bodie, when they were just getting shelled all over the place.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, too.
No?
I think he's on the phone. He's on the phone with a winner for Buckeye Country Superfest.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought I put that comment in there for him. I can't wait till he gets off the phone.
Yeah, they gave up 44 points to the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, yeah, week one. I mean,
week two. They beat the Browns in week one.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Bodie, what point do you think Jerry realized that this wasn't a Super Bowl team?
I could have told you back in January.
No, but what point
he did his hardest to try to.
They were all in.
They went all in the offseason.
I know that's the joke, but like seriously, if you look at what they did this offseason, it was so unbelievably pathetic. They didn't do anything to try and improve the team.
What do you mean? They re-signed CD and they re-signed Dak?
Yeah, 6 minutes before game one. And you just look at the roster, and I think like from the outside, not that I think a lot of outsiders' expectations were super high either, but I think you can kind of look at it from an outsider perspective and be like, well, Dak, CD, you got Micah, DeMarcus Lawrence. You can look at some of the heavy hitter names. But they're like second in tier level of players, if you will, are just bad would be an upgrade, honestly. I mean, they're second level, and I'm not even saying like second teamers. I'm just saying like outside of their top stars, 7-8 players, and some of those guys haven't. I mean, I'm a Dak defender, but Dak hasn't played very well this year.
Well, their line,
CDs, the line's terrible.
For so long, it was good, and it was just like, well, they're good. Well, they got old guys left, and Zach Martin's like the only piece left now that's recognizable.
Yeah,
to many people.
Tyler Smith's pretty good.
Tyler Smith, he's good, but like, okay, that's 2 of 5.
I know.
And Zach's not getting any younger. I mean, he's in his 9th or 10th year now.
Yeah, and honestly, some of their positions outside of like the heavy hitter, I mean, they have to have the worst running back room in the league. And I don't even think it's close. Their linebackers are pretty mediocre. Their defensive tackles are terrible. And so it's like, okay, your corners, I don't think Diggs has played that well this year, and Bland has been hurt all year. But
Diggs cheats, and so if you're not getting pressure, he can get exposed.
Yeah, and look, their defense, not that you can ever give up 47 points, but like, I'll cut them a little bit of slack because they were so beat up on Sunday. Like I said, not the 47 points, but the offense. Oh yeah, that's the thing though. You're right. Is when Micah was out there and DeMarcus Lawrence was healthy a couple weeks ago, and so was Nealand, their rookie other pass rusher, against the Saints. That game was over before halftime. I mean, their last 4 games at home, defensively. They have gotten blown off the field. Like Ohio State playing Akron and Western Michigan.
That doesn't happen in the NFL.
It's not supposed to.
I'm trying to think of games where I've been a part of that we've given up more than like 35 points, where the score wasn't like within 7 to 10.
35-31.
It's like a high-scoring contest where it was just a bludgeoning, and it may be like one. I think it is one that was like that. And believe me, I played with a Lions team that was coming off a 2-14 year the year before. Now, we went 6-10 while I was there, but we never got blown out like that. I think the one blowout was actually in Dallas when that happened, ironically, but it wasn't at home.
Well, the good news for you is that that's happened twice this year already for them.
And the thing is, they had been so good at home, too. I mean, last year when they lost to Green Bay in the playoffs, that was like their first home loss in like 16 straight games.
Mike McCarthy said, watch this. And I'm going to get better on the road. We're going to get really better on the road, and we're going to stink at home. If the college football playoffs started today, we started to do these exercises just to familiarize ourselves with the 12-team format. So according to the AP rankings, Texas is number 1. They're the number 1 team in the college football playoff ranking. Oregon will be number 2 because they're number 2.
Iowa State?
Miami would be number 3, Bob, hailing champion out of the ACC. They're ranked 6th. The 4th bye would be out of the Big 12. That would be Iowa State. They're the highest ranked Big 12 team at number 9. Now, Penn State, highest ranked team, non-conference champion in these simulations. They'd be 5. They would take on a Boise State as the 12 seed because that would be Boise as your highest ranked non-Power 4 champion in there. Number 6 would be Ohio State because they're ranked 4th. 7 would be Georgia. 8 would be Bama. 9 would be LSU. 10 would be Clemson. 11 would be Tennessee. So as of today,
one spot away though,
Notre Dame,
the Fighting Irish.
Don't let them get hot. As of today, if the playoffs were to start today, you would get Ohio State, Tennessee at Ohio Stadium.
I like that.
That would be nice.
I would love Ohio State, Notre Dame at Ohio Stadium.
Oh, wouldn't that be good?
I don't need that.
Bodes, how much would you like that?
We just got to beat Georgia Tech Saturday.
How was Northern Illinois doing this year?
Hey, we're undefeated against Power 4 competition.
Good for you guys.
People laugh about that.
Don't forget about that.
We're most likely going to play a Power 4 team if we were to make the playoffs.
Don't forget about that Kyle Field win, too. You need A&M to be good.
That counts just as much as the Northern Illinois loss.
You better be praying that A&M keeps winning.
Hey, we just got to beat Georgia Tech.
I thought, I was like, at least I'll have USC. They'll be top 20 at the end.
The Naval Academy is undefeated. And so is Army. Yeah. Now, Florida State having one win and Southern Cal falling apart does hurt the strength of schedule. But like I said, we just got to beat Georgia Tech Saturday.
Win, baby.
Going back to 1960, getting the big wins against the service academies. I want to talk to you about taking care of yourself and the ones that you love, especially if you're a Cowboys fan. You might be a little bit disenchanted at the moment. As we age, our bodies naturally lose testosterone that can affect you in multiple ways. Just like a Cowboys loss, sleep, mood swings, loss of muscle mass, weight gain. All these things mean maybe you just don't have the juice to get out there, run around with the kids, chase Billy and his gnomes, go coach around.
Chased him at gymnastics class last night.
Oh, absolutely. These are symptoms of low testosterone. They can affect those around you. It's time to go see my folks at Affinity Whole Health. They're the leader in testosterone hormone replacement therapy. Affinity can help you optimize your T levels and alleviate these symptoms. They can also help you lose weight with semaglutide injections. So whatever season or life you're in, Affinity can help you feel great. Again, that's guys, that's gals. Get started for free at feelgreatcolumbus.com with a free consult. That's feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Jackets' emotional home opener last night against the Panthers. Head coach of your Blue Jackets, Dean Evason, is next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, still watching crews clear up a crash. This is on the ramp from I-71 southbound to North Broadway. Other than that, everything moving along with no major issues. I'm 10 TV's Amy Segerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100.
You know, I couldn't stop talking about it to my family and friends. My knees are my trouble spot. But for me to tell them now that I'm doing so much better, they were amazed, and I've been amazed.
QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies. Yes, it is amazing how these non-surgical treatments deliver joint pain relief for patients like Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor.
Each week, I just started noticing that I could sleep and not have pain. I could play pickleball. I could do a CrossFit exercise routine.
QC Kinetics revitalizes your joints so you can move
move again without the pain pills or invasive surgery.
You know, I'm 60 years old and I want to stay competitive as long as I can. And QC has allowed me to do that. They did me right and really made a difference in my life.
Book your free consultation with QC Kinetics today and experience the difference for yourself.
I like to go, move, move, move.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Your weekend freebie is free Kroger brand 12-pack seltzer water. Simply clip your digital coupon and spend $50 or more Saturday or Sunday. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Would you believe that giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people? Or that a single cloud can weigh 550 tons or more? Sounds fake, right? How about an insurance company that actually treats you right? Sounds unbelievable, but it's true. NJM Insurance is proud to put policyholders first. And they don't use jingles or mascots either. Don't believe me? Well, guess what? Everything in this commercial is true and approved by the legal department. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit njm.com for a quote.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
There isn't a day that goes by that I don't appreciate what Awaken 180 has done for me. Scotty Vegas here, and since I started Awaken 180 in January, I lost and have kept off over 40 pounds. I hadn't been under 200 pounds since high school. Now I've been under 200 pounds for 5 straight months. My coach Patrick and I were laughing this week as I was telling him now in my tennis matches, instead of trying to play quick points, I have the energy to play long points and wait for my opponent to tire out. My metabolism is working the way it should now that I'm at my ideal weight. After you reach your ideal weight, Awaken 180 provides the free support for life. If you are ready to make the change and only do it once, do it. Call the long-term solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Football fans, meet your new full-service auto partner, Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. From Honda to Ford to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, we have the perfect vehicle for every football fan. Stuck on the road? Our 24/7 towing and roadside assistance is just one call away, and our Carvenience service means no hassle, just great service. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. For unbeatable deals and unbelievable service, visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Bobby is known as the General. Beamer is known as Beamer. This is Morning Juice.
For Wednesday edition of the program, Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Sharky out on vacay. Got our man Bodes doing a nice job behind the glass for us today. Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with the head coach of your Columbus Blue Jackets. He is Dean Evason. Coach, thanks as always for the time. It was a busy night last night, emotional night as well at Nationwide Arena. I know you talked about it in the postgame too, but just going in, obviously what transpired this summer with Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, but that was one of the more emotional things that I've ever seen a group of 20,000 people get involved with last night. Coach, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. And, yeah, there's no question that, watching Johnny's family walk out there and his wife and children, obviously. And then I think the thing that obviously, I think hit everybody and certainly hit me is when we dropped the puck and waited that 13 seconds. And I'm sure that Monahan had orchestrated it, but they passed the puck over and the puck just sat there where Johnny would have grabbed it. And that just kind of hit home a little bit for everybody. So there's no question emotions were, very high, low, but very proud of the way that the guys handled themselves throughout the entire day, to be honest with you. We had Johnny's dad here at pregame skate, and so there was just a lot of emotions, and the guys handled very well. We played well. Unfortunately, we didn't get the W.
So, Coach, what's the process like of getting all of that organized and coordinated before with both teams?
Yeah, I know for a fact that not only, the Columbus Blue Jackets organization, but, Florida Panthers, the NHL, and to be honest with you, the entire world, was affected by this, and everybody felt it and had the same emotions. I thought the NHL and everybody involved, and certainly our crew led by Don Waddell and Mike Priest just did a tremendous job of orchestrating something that was done properly, done with class, and really honored Johnny and Matthew and their family the proper way.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. It was a super emotional night, and then more of a traditional opening night is going to be happening tomorrow night against the Sabres. So that'll be an interesting one for sure. 1-2 here to start out the year. All three games so far this season have been pretty hotly contested. What about your first line, though? I mean, Chinikov, Marchenko, and Sean Monahan. I know Monahan getting the goal last night, which was pretty fitting, and then pointing up to the rafters. But 13 points through the first three games of the year. It looks like they're holding up their weight on that first line.
No question. And, we talked last night about, clearly, we're in the business of winning. We're 1-2, but we've played winning hockey, and all three hockey games we thought we had an opportunity to win. And certainly that line has driven us in that area and pushed us forward. They've not only done some things offensively, obviously, to give us a chance to win hockey games, but they're leading by their play in all three zones. Defensively, they've been real sound. They've played against the top lines on any given night, and they've done the job in that area as well. And then just in the room, obviously, Monahan's been a huge presence with Boone being out. He's taken a leadership role, and Chinny and Marchie have done a fantastic job of driving forward as well. So that line has been a real positive impact on our group here early in the season.
Not a ton of opportunities last night, Coach, but the power play has been pretty good to start the season, which preceding you has been an issue here for felt like a decade plus. What's kind of been the secret to that improvement here early in the season?
Well, we've adjusted some stuff. Obviously, we've made some changes systematically. 5-on-5 and with our special teams, and it's going to be a process to get everybody understanding exactly, and there's what we want to do and how we want to conduct ourselves. So there's a lot of teaching moments, and sure, the two losses There's definitely teaching moments. Obviously, it was fantastic to get a win in Colorado to reinforce to the guys that we're doing the right things in those areas to hopefully give ourselves a chance each and every night to have success.
He is head coach of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Dean Evason, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. How about KJ's start to the season, Coach? I mean, he's looked through the first 3 games, not only like he belongs here in the NHL, but that he could be one of the best players in the org.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, people have made a lot of him killing penalties and what have you for our hockey club. But right from the day one at training camp, we talked to the group about having a clean slate. And we tried everybody, like literally everyone killed penalties through the preseason. And we did our evaluation as a coaching staff of who could play in different situations. We talked to the group of if you don't like your role, we talk to each and every player and define their role. And if you don't like your role, you can change it by doing, extra stuff or working harder or blocking a shot to play on the PK or getting pucks down the ice to play on the PK, scoring some goals on the PP, and warranting more ice time. So he's a guy that early in training camp, we killed some penalties with him and he did a fantastic job. He's got a skill set. Obviously, offensively, he moves his feet extremely well. He's fast. He has a good read. He's got a good shot. He's got a good stick. He's got a good hand. So why not put him on the PK? So, but he's played really well in all areas. That line in particular has played very well with Tuna on the left wing and then Sillinger in the middle. So. Very happy with the way that KJ started the season.
Yeah, got a nice little shorty assist, too, on Cole Sillinger's goal last night. Back at home tomorrow, Nationwide Arena against the Buffalo Sabres. Coach, always appreciate the time. Know you're a very busy man. Go get him tomorrow. Go get him on the weekend against the Wild, and we'll check in again next week, all right?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There he goes, Dean Evason, head coach of your Columbus Blue Jackets, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Can't even begin to fathom how hard of a night that was to play hockey after what we saw. After a super, super emotional first probably half hour in the building for the fans.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, those guys, I was a friend, a teammate.
Yeah.
Some of those guys have known him for a long time, a number of years. And if not, it's just seeing your family, a guy you've known for a while, your teammate, his family out there, the tribute. It's hard to focus. It's hard to concentrate. The best thing that honestly happens, though, is you're able to start elevating your heart rate and things get going, and that kind of normalizes that level of emotion to a certain extent, and then you can kind of settle in and play because it's a continuous motion sport. That makes it a little easier. But, yeah, the first 10 to 15 minutes, that had to be just ridiculously grueling for those guys.
We're going to get Juice next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Still watching one crash on I-71 southbound getting off at North Broadway. We've got crews slightly blocking that ramp as they work to clear up a crash from earlier this morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Hey guys, it's D. Miller. If you're not feeling upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But we're not all the same. So don't go for TRT referred to as a standard dosage plan. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan, like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. They provide advanced therapy and have over a decade of experience. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Thank you for calling Great Lakes. Great Lakes Kia.
Do you like scary movies?
Nah, they don't scare me.
What does scare you?
High car payments. They make me want to scream.
And at Great Lakes Kia?
We have brand new Kias under $5 a day. Come pick one out.
Maybe I'm already here.
Cool. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorrento LX. All three under $5 a day.
That's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
At Great Lakes Kia.
What if I have scary credit?
No problem. Get approved with 0% financing.
Perfect. And I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus, GreatLakesKia.com.
Can I hang up now?
To qualified buyers, visit greatlakeskia.com for details.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
The Buckeye Show.
Jim Lachey back in the day just pointing.
We going right here, and it's not a dang thing you can do about it.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by Care Source.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Fall is in the air, and that really gets me going for a delicious, savory breakfast like the Bob Evans new value menu with a whole lot of fresh breakfast options for just $5.99. I love the new griddle stacker with a sausage patty, American cheese, bacon, and a fried egg. But get this, 3 mini hot cakes. You're going to love it too. Here's the best part, the price. It's right in your wheelhouse. It's in my wheelhouse. It's starting at only $7.99. Stacked high and price low. Check them out at bobevans.com or on the new mobile app.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy. Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush. Plus, top-of-the-line grills still in stock. Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Bring the thrill of the stadium to your wallet with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the only checking account that rewards you for being a Crew fan. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Ready or not, here comes winter. You might need an ice scraper as you head off to your car today because it is a cold one out there with many of you down around that freezing mark. Today we're looking at partly cloudy skies, high 55. Tonight it gets even colder. We have a freeze warning in effect. Many of you dipping down to freezing or possibly below freezing. Tomorrow, look for sunny skies, high 62. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Counting down the days until Shark's retirement. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice brought to you by our great friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Bob, big Wednesday here, buddy. Last day of the weekend for us. What's got you fired up today?
Well, I was freezing last night, and my wife just told me, she's like, yeah.
Felt so good.
I had to wake up to turn the heat on. Well, our bedroom's over the garage, so it's a little cooler than the rest of the house. Good news is in the summer, it's a little hotter than the rest of the house.
That's how our
my kids, they get the catbird seat. Their rooms are freezing in the summer.
I literally said this the other day. I was in William's room. I got him after a nap, and it was cold outside, and I went into his room, and I'm like, dude, you got the best room in the house. You only have one window, so it's naturally dark in your room. So for sleep time, it's great. And you have the best weather-controlled room in the whole house. It's cold in the summertime, and it's warm during the winter.
We get shafted. So I was a little chilly last night, and I was just informed by Court that had to turn the heat on. I'm like, absolutely, it did. They had a little fire going yesterday. We turned our fireplace on. It was great. Enjoying that. It finally feels like fall. I mean, it's the middle of October. I'm sure we'll get some warm days here. Some places I think got some frost. I'm not opposed to getting a hard frost.
We got snow at John Glenn yesterday. It was a freezing.
I think it was a
sleet,
sleetish.
But all the weather.
That's fine. Just get the grass to stop growing.
The Greater Weather Council calls it like snow.
The Greater Weather Council.
I don't know what the name of it is. It was some. They had some council name.
What is this?
I don't know.
The CFP,
the National Weather Association.
That's good. But yeah, we had a little sleet. It was a wintry mix yesterday, is what they call it. Being a little rain, a little snow, a little sleet, a little bit of everything we had going. So kind of finally fall, feeling like that. It was rough being out at the Buckeyes practice yesterday and then going to my kids' practice about 3 hours. I did not have any appropriate rain gear, so I'd get rain, dry, wind would blow me up, blow it dry, and it was feeling rough. But it's finally here. It's Wednesday, pushing through, onward and upward. I hope people are beginning to transition past the morning of the Buckeye loss. And then last night, what a great tribute by the Jackets, the NHL. It was really well done by all parties involved. The Panthers, they did a great job too. It's what you would have wanted it to be for Johnny Gaudreau and the commemoration of him and his brother. So well done to everyone involved with that. And then got this little nugget here from my man David Goggins to get you going today.
Who's going to carry the boats? All right, so do you know why I demand that? Not for me. When I come out to every single audience, which you guys are one of the best ever. The reason why I demand that from the audience is because I know what darkness looks like. I know what it feels like to be alone with no motivation, no drive, no passion. And what has to come out of your soul in the darkest of times is what you just did right there. So that's what I do. So people always, for the first 20-some years of my life, it was just darkness. But if you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, no and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that.
There you go. Manufacture the juice, Beam, the morning juice. Bodie, what Schleich's got to say?
I really don't like leaving the country because I can't take guns with me when I go there. I'm well protected and well trained. Gas station ready all the time and knows no international boundaries, that's for sure. I would just rather stay at home and be with my peoples.
That's an amazing stream of consciousness right there.
Is. I'll tell you guys this. If Red Dawn ever comes to life, Anthony Schlegel's who I want to be with. I got a question for you guys, actually. Normally I'll wake up, not at 2 a.m. like I did today, but 8 o'clock hour, throw the show on, the YouTube.
Yeah.
And you guys have mentioned multiple times before, and Beamer, you just mentioned it again, that today is the weekend.
Yeah.
What's the Monday through Sunday
The thought
schedule
process
here?
behind the Tuesday and Wednesday being the weekend is that from Thursday all the way till Monday, you've got football. We've got football on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the weekend being Saturday and Sunday, in which you could perhaps watch a show, you can watch a movie, you can get caught up on some rest. That's the thought process behind Tuesday, Wednesday being the weekend.
All right, that makes sense. I wasn't sure. It took me a while to figure out what a first Friday was. Now I got that figured out. What's got me juiced, guys? We'll start with some basketball here, actually. I was watching the Celtics game last night, preseason.
Sick.
Jason Tatum absolutely ended some poor kid's career by dunking on him. Celtics did lose their first loss of the preseason, but still getting juiced. 6 days away from Banter 18 going up into the rafters. Also saw this. The Irish women's basketball team received 70 of 79 first place votes to win the ACC this year, so that's fantastic. Also, the men have the #1 recruiting class in the country right now, so
whoa,
2 thumbs up there for the women and men's basketball. And, of course, this weekend, Buckeye bye week. I got to be honest with you guys. I could do for 2 bye weeks every single year. I think that's pretty fantastic. It's pretty great. Just breaks the schedule up. So the Irish will play, and I'll get to watch it at home and not be in here yelling at the TV like I was last week when we were kind of struggling. For a minute there with Stanford. Still won by 42. Can't complain too much about that. But going to be watching that at home this weekend as the Irish look for a 5th win in a row.
Does all that offset your Cowboys pain?
I would say yeah. Notre Dame winning is like just the most important thing in my life.
That's the cream of the crop
yes,
for you. That's
and when you win
one.
by 42 against Stanford, a rival, Legends Trophy, staying in South Bend, baby. Now, Stanford is not quite as good as they once were with Harbaugh and David Shaw, but a win's a win, so that's fantastic. And we got Georgia Tech this weekend in Atlanta. Beam, what's got you juiced?
What's got me juiced is you can have a lot of things in life, but don't touch Cucho, all right? So I was reading this from MLS reporter Matt Doyle. Mexican press widely expecting Monterrey to make the Crew an offer they can't refuse for Cucho this winter. Reported bid is initially $15 million. Crew looking for $22 to $25 million. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't transfer him out. Give him whatever he wants. Give him the keys of the city. Give him unlimited hair dye.
Mr.
Don't
Unlimited.
transfer him. You can't get rid of him, especially to a Liga MX team, which you're going to be playing in all these different competitions that you qualified for. Unless it starts with a 4, I'm not interested in it.
Like
40, 40, or 400 million.
400.
Yeah, just don't get rid of him.
There's
I saw
always
that.
money in the banana stand.
There is always money in the banana stand. Always remember that. Always remember that. Yeah, so I saw that this morning and got a little juice vampired a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But don't, if you're listening to me, it's not worth it. Don't sell your best player that you've probably ever had wear your colors. Ohio State men's basketball head coach Jake Diebler, he's going to join us in studio coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Wednesday. Just one crash we're watching on I-71 southbound, getting off at North Broadway. We've got crews slightly blocking off that ramp as they work to clear up an incident from earlier this morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Great Lakes Kia. Take the winning drive to Great Lakes Kia. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia. Visit greatlakeskia.com.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And when it comes to fall, we often think of those cooler temperatures, the trees changing colors, the bonfires in the evening, and of course, football season. We less often think of those home projects that we've been neglecting or failed to finish up before those harsh Ohio winter hits. If you need to have your roof inspected or it's on your to-do list, you can ensure that Newman Roofing will get you ready for those harsh winter storms. The team over at Newman has you covered, and they're family owned and locally operated right here in Central Ohio since 1992. The 3 generations that have been in the roofing industry, they have the expertise to handle any issue you may be facing with your roof. Folks, they took care of my roof. They did a fantastic job. They're the experts, and they will give you the white glove treatment, because when your name is on it, it just means more. So if you need your roof repaired or replaced this fall, call the company you can trust. That's Newman Roofing at newmanroofing.com or 614-NEW-ROOF.
It's Rocktober, baby!
It's Rocktober at Lindsay Honda.
Just announced for the rest of October, we're lowering the finance rate to 0.9% on every new Lindsay Honda. And you still get the Lindsay Honda difference. A $1,295 value package included with every vehicle purchase.
This is it.
Turn up the noise with Lindsay Honda.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24 and 25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
There's a shocking new government report about the border crisis Sherrod Brown created. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, almost 500,000 convicted criminals have entered our country illegally, including nearly 30,000 found guilty of murder and sexual assault, including rape in their home countries. Now they are spread out across America because of Sherrod Brown's policies. But Sherrod Brown says,
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
That's because Sherrod Brown doesn't listen to voters anymore. And while our safety is being jeopardized, Sherrod Brown is making sure illegals get taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals who get amnesty, Social Security, even COVID relief checks, all paid for by you. 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, and but well, starting with hockey in front of an emotional Nationwide arena as the team honored the lives of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. The Blue Jackets fell to the Florida Panthers last night 4-3. Columbus took a 2-1 lead in the second, but a pair of goals in the back half of the period gave Florida a lead that they would never relinquish. Next up for the Columbus Blue Jackets, they'll host Buffalo on Thursday night. And in baseball, in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series in the Bronx last night, Aaron Judge's first homer of the postseason, a 2-run shot in the 7th, helped lead the Yankees to a 6-3 win over the Guardians. Cleveland went 0-7 with runners in scoring position as they struggled to get the big hit all night long. New York takes a 2-0 series lead. Game 3 is in Cleveland tomorrow afternoon at 5:08. This update is sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan.
You're listening to Rob Manfred's least favorite radio show. This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 3 of the program for us on a Wednesday. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Sharky out on vacay. We've got our man Bodie doing a fantastic job for us. Going to be joined by Jake Diebler, head coach of your Ohio State men's basketball team, in studio here in just a minute. Burm, he's going to join us coming up here at 8:33 this morning, talking all things Buckeyes and Ducks from over the weekend. Ohio State going into the bye week, expectations for them now heading into their next game, noon banger against Nebraska. So Burm's going to join us here around 8:33 a little bit later on this morning.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Joined in studio now by Ohio State men's basketball head coach Jake Diebler. Coach, thanks for the time. How we doing? How we living? Season's getting close.
It's getting close. Happy to be here, and felt like football weather outside finally here these last couple days.
Starting to turn into basketball weather is what it kind of feels like.
That means it's getting close. That's right.
Absolutely it is. Before we get to the game coming up here on Friday in Cincinnati, you guys are playing an exhibition game. Did it last year against Dayton as well. How's the offseason been for you? I know it's a crazy time, not only in college basketball right now, but kind of with everything that's going on right now in the landscape of college athletics.
It is a crazy time, but really excited about it. I think we're positioned at Ohio State to be set up to really thrive in whatever this new landscape, when it finally gets all these details ironed out, looks like. But in the meantime, we're focused on having a great year. And so our guys have been working really, really hard. I love the competitiveness and the work ethic of our group. We, got a lot of newness around our program. So this time right now is important to build that on-court chemistry.
So how do you go about doing that, Coach, in this era now where the portal is so prevalent? We talk about it in football where you have 85 guys. Basketball, a much smaller group. You can have a 50% roster turnover, and that's not uncommon. How do you get those guys to bond as people and then also develop that chemistry as players?
We spent the summer really trying to carve out space for chemistry to be built off the court. We dealt with some injuries this summer, guys that maybe came in with injuries and the type of injuries you didn't want to play through necessarily that maybe you could have during the season. So we didn't get a lot of time to, I think, build on-court chemistry, 5 guys at a time type. But we were really intentional about doing that outside of the gym. We our guys went to dinner once a week this summer. We called it family dinner. No
Nice.
coaches, just the players. So we had a family dinner once a week. We went on a family retreat to Athletes in Action headquarters over in Xenia a couple weekends ago. So we just really try to create space for real conversation and chemistry to be built.
Seems pretty imperative. I mean, now I feel like, too, with the introduction to social media, I'm sure you guys are on the phone, and I know you got 4 kids under 6 years old. I don't know if they've gotten to the phones, but Bob, you can probably attest to that. It seems like everybody lives on their phone, so to have actual real conversations with real people and those guys being your teammates is a really good thing.
Yeah, we actually, when we were at the retreat, we kind of all put our phones up for a time period, and a couple guys, I think they were a little uncomfortable with that for a period, but then everybody bought in and saw the value of just us focusing on real dialogue and interact. We played some board games. We did some different team activities. Had some intense Monopoly going on.
Monopoly's actually banned in my house. I'm not allowed to play it anymore.
Does that get rough? But from this.
Well, I'm surprised our guys keep trying to play against me because I keep winning. And now they're teaming up on me, so it's getting harder and harder.
Oh, so that I always hated that. I'm growing up in a bigger family. I had 3 brothers, and it was usually the alliances begin to form. Right. And then usually if you're the one that's getting worked, someone whacks everything off the board. I'm done. I'm walking out of here. So that camaraderie right there, that's awesome to be able to build. You mentioned pulling back as a coach, and you're a young coach, so in your mind you probably still feel like partially a player and being involved. But when you pull yourself and your staff out of the situation, who is the one driving that? Who are the couple guys that are kind of driving those interactions?
I think it's been a blend. I think Bruce Thornton, and a lot of it has to do with just the relationship he and I have. Yeah. I think there's a comfortability there. Had been the one who recruited him and just been his position coach, for the last couple of years. So, and I trust him. I trust, what he's going to say and what he's about. But I think it's been organic to see guys like Michi Johnson. He and I had a previous, connection. And so I think he feels comfortable voicing his opinion and being a leader. And then it's been fun to watch other guys, whether they're transfers, whether guys maybe who have been here or freshmen, there's a natural blend in chemistry in this group. We try to be intentional about that when we invite people into our family. Doesn't always work out perfectly, right? But I think it's been really cool to see even so much. We had a player-led and organized Bible study, and so it's just been, sometimes it's basketball related, sometimes it's not. And I think that's when you have a chance to have something special. I know I'm, new school to some degree, but I am old school in the sense that I think chemistry matters, and I think it impacts winning. And so we're continuing to work towards building that.
It's interesting you mentioned Michi there. Obviously, Ohio State fans are familiar with him, played here for a couple of years, goes down to South Carolina, then gets back in the portal, comes back. Your relationship with him as a player prior and then coming back here to Ohio State, because Bob and I talk about the transfer portal all the time, whether that be in football or basketball, and the crazy amount of numbers that just happen after a season. What is that like for the fans out there listening and the actual player in the portal, approaching the portal? What does that system kind of look like for everyone out there?
Well, the portal isn't as new in basketball as it was in football. It was something that, I remember when I played, you almost had a transfer every year. You didn't have a lot, and then you would get a transfer. You had to sit out at that time. It was a year of development, so a lot of coaches saw value in that. Now, certainly it's changed with guys not having to sit out and then being able to transfer multiple times. It was a big deal. Then it became grad transfers was a big deal, in basketball. Then it became the portal as we know it. So I think it's something we're used to, but, from the standpoint of the hard part about the portal is you're inviting people into your family, and it's essentially speed dating, right? You're deciding, hey, they're a great fit. Watching the film and that's the easy part. It's figuring out who they are and kind of what makes them go, and you're doing background checks and, there's as best you can, but you have to make decisions in a really short window. Whereas when you're recruiting a high school player, you have, typically a year or more in some cases to decide hey, that guy fits, our program. So that's the hard part I'd say about the portal. Evaluating the basketball talent is because of the film access we have is easy. It's just figuring out who they are as people.
How much do you lean in? I know basketball, it's a tight-knit circle with guys playing AAU and playing for and against with these other guys, and sometimes your players may have more experience with some of these guys in the portal than potentially you do. How much of that is potentially player-driven, where guys coming in on visits, or I've played with this guy growing up, I played against him, and having that feel, that understanding, that knowledge, is that something that you've been able to kind of lean into?
Yeah, you try to figure out if there's any kind of connection, because you're looking for an advantage, right, in recruiting. So if it's guys played together in AAU, or maybe we're at some of these camps together and got to know each other, you try to see if there's some sort of additional connection. A lot of times we're looking too, like, does that person have a connection to Ohio State? Is there someone in their family, who went here, or, are they a fan? So you try your best, but also I think what we're starting to see now over the last couple of years is there's value in seeing high school recruitments all the way through, because if these guys end up transferring, and maybe you finish second or third, it gives you a leg up once they go into the portal, because you have a better feel for who they are. This was the case with Sean Stewart. We recruited Sean Stewart. I was the one recruiting him. Comes on an official visit, ends up going to Duke, right? But he immediately, when he went into the portal, we knew, okay, here's a guy we believed in. We think he's got, a really bright future, and he already had some feelings about Ohio State too. So that was helpful.
It is pretty remarkable when you look at just the actual numbers around college basketball and what it was when you were playing even in the mid-2000s, 2010s, and I feel like it's really exploded over the last couple of years. Let's get to your roster. The offseason that you had came in like a wrecking ball. We know that. First game of the year last year when you were in charge, number 1 Purdue. You guys take them down. Great leapfrog. Continuation from last season to this season, and kind of the characteristics of this team going into this year. A Jake Diebler coach team is going to have what characteristics?
I think I've tried to evaluate this through the lens of like what will make our former players proud in combination with, what I believe we need to do to win, right? But I think when people watch us play and they see us play, they're going to see a level of pace to us offensively, both after makes and misses. They're going to see an urgency that we play with, and an aggressiveness, both offensively and defensively. One of the reasons we were able to be successful down the stretch of the season was we were able to turn teams over more, and we were a little more aggressive defensively. That helped us get out, in transition more. It helped our pace was significantly faster at the end of the season. We now have a full, off season to kind of prep and build our system around that. But we don't want to be reckless either. We want to play with poise. We want to make sure we're striving to be efficient. But there's going to be a competitiveness, a toughness, and an urgency and aggressiveness that we play with that should tell our guys, like, people should be able to turn on the TV or come into the shot and say that, man, those guys play really, really hard and tough.
It's very, very important, ultra critical. As you look at this, you see a veteran blend on the team, some young, some old. I've talked to some guys in hoops, like, get old, stay old. Can you do that? How does this blend, you feel like, fit with what you have as far as the age differences and how the lineup is going to roll out?
Well, I think, I look at it this way. I think our perimeter players who have a ton of experience and are really good players, Bruce Thornton, Michi Johnson, all league caliber players last year in the same backcourt. You had Micah Parrish, who played in the national championship game 2 years ago as a significant contributor, started on a Sweet 16 team last year. You have those guys, Quez Glover, who's played a lot of college games. Like, our experience is in the guard position. I think that gives us a high floor. Then when you look at our front court, 2 former McDonald's All-Americans, although not a ton of experience, former top 50 player, Mr. Basketball, and Devin Royal, talented, not a ton of experience. We added, a 7'2" kid, Evon from Croatia, who has international experience, but not a lot. Can you
pronounce his last name, by the way?
No.
Yegovon, right? Did I get it?
That's really close.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let you set me up. I'm not going to let you set me up this morning.
I'm looking for some advice here. I'm just trying. If I hear it, I can reproduce it.
If I don't know if he's in class right now, but we could call him and just try and be like, hey, can you? But no, he's. So I think when you look at our roster, our ceiling, we have a chance to really grow as this year goes on because our front court is going to get experience right away. And that's exciting for me. It may present some challenges early on, especially with our non-conference schedule, but what I believe allows us to do is going into Big Ten play, it allows us to really have significant growth. We have these established, talented guards, which is great. That helps coaches sleep well at night, having really good guards. But then we have this upside that we got to keep working towards in the front court, which should be pretty exciting, and I think it gives us a great chance to be growing as the season goes on.
We're going to continue to hang out with Ohio State men's basketball head coach Jake Diebler next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching slowdowns on I-70 westbound right as you're coming into downtown. We've got a crash that has the right shoulder blocked off just past that Kelton Avenue exit. And crews still working to clear up a crash on the ramp from 71 southbound to North Broadway from earlier this morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Great Lakes Kia. Take the winning drive to Great Lakes Kia. Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia. Visit GreatLakesKia.com.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, announcing our $99 home preventative maintenance checkup. Carpenter & Bryant will do whatever it takes to get you ready for the fall and winter ahead. Check us out at carpentercolumbus.com. That's carpentercolumbus.com.
Rosati Windows, the best buying experience in the business.
So many of the manufacturers today have gone to using such high-tech equipment that there's nothing left for human hands. Rosati Windows is different. Yes, we've invested in a lot of high-tech equipment, but a lot of our steps are still done by hand. And this makes for a much stronger window. There's just a lot of little things that we do that adds to the quality of our window.
Call Rosati Windows today, 777-4806.
Now is a great time to start your holiday shopping at Meijer. Save big this week with our early holiday deals. Save $40 on a Gourmet air fryer. Save $30 when you buy a Keurig K-Slim single-serve coffee maker. And for the competitive ones on your gift list, select board games are 20% off. Shop even more great gift ideas like these in the Meijer Holiday Gift Guide. Available on Meijer.com, in-store, or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Thank you for calling Great Lakes. Great Lakes Kia.
Do you like scary movies?
Nah, they don't scare me.
What does scare you?
High car payments. They make me want to scream.
And at Great Lakes Kia?
We have brand new Kias under $5 a day. Come pick one out.
Maybe I'm already here.
Cool. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorrento LX. All three under $5 a day.
That's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
At Great Lakes Kia.
What if I have scary credit?
No problem. Get approved with 0% financing.
Perfect. And I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus, GreatLakesKia.com.
Can I hang up now?
To qualified buyers, visit greatlandskia.com for details.
Just how liberal could Sherrod Brown be? What are his actual votes?
Well, he backed bills to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports and let transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms.
Very liberal.
Brown supported allowing children to receive puberty blockers and even sex change surgery.
Super liberal.
And worse, Brown even voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions, a procedure where the baby is partially delivered alive. That's right. Brown's votes for partial birth abortion are in the congressional record. And Sherrod Brown voted to allow this terrible procedure not once, not twice, but 6 different times over 8 years.
That's radical liberal.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's just way too liberal for Ohio.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It is a cold start here Wednesday morning, everyone. Good morning. If you are just now waking up, temperatures are around freezing out there. Sunny with a high of 55 today. Tonight it gets even colder, going 33 here in Columbus, but outside of Columbus, you'll drop down to below freezing. Tomorrow, sunny skies with a high of 62. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If this show made a scented candle, it would smell like bad coffee, unwashed jockstrap, and grass clippings.
I wasn't sure how you take your coffee.
You are listening to Morning Juice.
So, mouth or enema?
Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon B, Bobby Carpenter, Sharky out on vacay. We got our band Bodes doing a nice job. Continuing to hang out with Ohio State men's basketball head coach Jake Diebler with us in studio. Now, we left off, we were talking about, is it Ivan or Evon?
Evon.
Evon.
That's good.
Yegevon. All right. How do you even begin to go after a guy like that from Croatia? I mean, are we sending scouts different places? Like, what's that like?
Yeah, so we do, and we're being more active in the international recruiting space, this summer and moving forward. But Evon was interesting. We had gotten some film from an agent, and watched that initial film and like, oh, there's some real potential here. Got some more film. And we actually didn't get a chance to see him necessarily in person because of the timing of everything and how it developed. But Zoom calls and all that stuff, getting to know him and telling him about Ohio State. And so that one, it happened relatively quickly, but it's fascinating. I mean, he's blended in like perfectly with our team. He's loving it here so far. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Did he know where Columbus, Ohio was before he ever came here?
This is his first time in America.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Was middle of August before fall semester started.
So we talked a little bit about this non-conference, and different people have different philosophies on it, Deebs, and you see yours is very ambitious, to say the least. I mean, talking Texas, you got Texas A&M, you got Pittsburgh, you got Auburn, by the way. You've got Rutgers and Maryland thrown in there. I mean,
UK and the CBS Sports Classic, Auburn.
There's a lot going into that. The potential for a lot of growth, but maybe also some struggles. Kind of where do you see that push-pull on that, developing confidence while also trying to test your guys and prepare them for the Big Ten?
Yeah, listen, we want this program, the standard of this program should be competing for Big Ten championships. I think they're and advancing in the NCAA tournament. In order to do that, and make no mistake, we're trying to do that as quickly as possible. And in order to get ready for Big Ten this season, we needed to test and challenge ourselves and figure out where we are. We're going to know exactly where we are on November 4th. And it's not that game's going to define our season, win or lose. But then we have, week and a half, 2 weeks to figure out where we are at that point on the road at Texas A&M. And we have these kind of checkpoints throughout the non-conference to keep getting us ready for Big Ten play, which – in my, I guess you could say, biased opinion, is the deepest conference in the country. So we want to play against, and have one of the tougher non-conference schedules in the country every year. And we were able to do that this year, and it's going to be a great test for us.
What do you let me rephrase that. How long does it take you as a coach to kind of figure out the lineup and the minute share on any given season? Because, I mean, sometimes it's 7 to 8 guys who are in your lineup, and sometimes it could be up to 10 guys who are given significant amount of minutes. How long, ideally, does that take you to kind of figure out your rotation?
I think because of the newness in the program right now, it's taking a little bit longer. I said this, it might have been last week, and I genuinely mean this. I think we have up to 8 starters right now.
Wow.
I think we have multiple guys who have earned the right to start. Now we have to pick 5, but the way we're going to play is going to give room for a longer, deeper rotation, especially starting out in the season with how long the season is. So our depth is a real strength for us. It's helped us have real competitive practices, and guys are, that old iron sharpens iron, right? Like that's what we have right now, which is I think going to benefit us. And it also, listen, injuries pop up, it's part of sports, and it helps us, I think, withstand anything that may come our way in that regards too.
So you've got a lot of versatility on your roster, height-wise, body type-wise, and you start talking about 8 potential starters, being able to go deep. For lack of a better term, I mean, football, you call them packages, like we're going to play this style with these guys, and we'll be able to do different things. How much of that comes into play where we'll go big, we'll go small, more defensive heavy, shooting heavy, and maybe some of those different lineups that you're putting out there?
Yeah, we're starting to map some of that out right now. And, not so much, I think, this Friday, but before we go into the game against Texas on November 4th, we'll have a couple different, packages that, lineup packages that we could put out depending on what the game requires in that moment. And I think it's a real strength to have that type of versatility.
Yeah.
Will benefit us certainly.
What do you want to see get done on Friday in Cincinnati? Obviously, we know the backbone of their program is always going to be hard-nosed physical. That's just the way that they've been. That's the way that they're always going to be. What are you looking for Friday in that exhibition game down there?
A big reason why I wanted to do this was because 2 of our first 3 games are neutral site Texas at Texas A&M. And to be able to go into, a sold-out crowd and get that experience in an exhibition setting, like I didn't want our first time being in front of a big crowd to be Texas. I didn't want our first road game to be Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So this is a great, run through prep for us. Also, Cincinnati's a good team.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it gives us a chance to really see kind of where we are, knowing, hey, we got some things to work on and get better at. But they're kind of opposite us. They have almost everybody back. So it's going to be a true test for us to understand hostile crowd, veteran team, good team. It's going to have a good year. That stuff's great. And then the other thing for me was the opportunity to, one, I thought what we did last year with Dayton and Anthony Great and the story around he and his daughter and their family, to be able to come together and support and raise money, for mental health in Ohio was really, really great. So we had an opportunity to do that again and wanted to do that. We tried to get, us, Dayton, Xavier, Cincinnati all together under the same roof to do something, back-to-back exhibition games. So couldn't quite do it in the short time period this year, but hopefully, we're open to seeing if that can happen in the future.
So you're an Ohio guy, and you just mentioned, obviously, last year with Dayton, this year, exhibition with Cincinnati. You got Youngstown State on the schedule, Pittsburgh, some teams in this vicinity, and tough for the non-conference sometimes, especially students are out to get, obviously, the shot filled up, but you start looking around at Dayton, Xavier, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Cleveland State, the MAC schools that are all close. I mean, is there an effort to try to put some of that into the schedule? Quality basketball, but also more of a quality environment to get some people and some road fans and some travel in there.
Yeah, listen, I am a product of the Ohio high school, and really the Ohio basketball culture and landscape. And so I think as the head coach of Ohio State and this program, there's a responsibility to keep driving and pushing basketball as a whole in this state, and being able to bring some teams in here from Ohio. Its scheduling's complicated, but I think when we can do it, there's great value in it because it benefits both parties involved. Like this game is another example of that. The event we're trying to do in the future is, I think it's good for basketball in Ohio. And at Ohio State, as that flagship program and as the head coach at Ohio State, we need to keep pushing. I think there's a responsibility to keep pushing basketball in Ohio, and certainly which is a rich tradition, but keep growing the game in the state.
Coach, before we get you out of here, I'd be remiss. Do you guys need a rebounding coach? Because we have a guy in Anthony Schlegel who has long said that he would come in. He doesn't know anything about basketball. He wrestled, but box him out the gym and rebound is like the two keys that he knows. So if you're looking for a rebounding coach, I think he'll give you some time.
Those are really, really important. And depending on how these first couple, exhibition games go, maybe I'll take you up on that and have him come over and help us with the rebounding. But thankfully, so far, it's been a strength for us, and we don't have to risk anybody. Maybe all I remember of him is him tackling that guy on the field. And so if one of our guys get a rebound on him, I just think like, man, is he going to spear him like he did? But. No, we'll keep that in the back of my mind for future if we need it.
Get him a forearm pad, like you moving around in
Right.
practice. I think he could do some damage with that. Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for coming in here. We'll get together here soon again before the opener against Texas. Go get him Friday against Cincinnati, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jake Diebler in studio with us. We'll check in with Burm, talk about some Ohio State football next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Wednesday. Right now, still watching slowdowns on I-70 westbound coming into downtown. We've got a crash in those westbound lanes just past that Kelton Avenue exit. Expect to be slow moving as you hit that 70-71 split. Also, still watching crews clear up an issue from earlier this morning on the ramp from I-71 southbound to North Broadway. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
From the mind of a 2-foot-tall talking spokes puppet comes this year's biggest challenge. It's time for Bob's Dare to Compare, the hottest game show on TV that asks, what happens when you compare Bob's to the competition? You get style. You get quality. You get beeps and boops and dings and whomps. And thousands of dollars in savings. Everyone's a winner when you dare to compare with Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop in store or at mybobs.com to play now.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time, except for two things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? Truehold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP finance. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Steve Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money, Wednesday night at 8.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
There was a time where I woke up every day and my knee kept bothering me. I wondered, would it ever get better? I'd like to go out and run. I'd like to go play golf. I'd like to hang out with my friends at the pool, go off the diving board, play with my kids, do the stuff that I wanted to do. I looked at having surgery, thought that's not the answer. Don't want to do that. I've had plenty of surgeries in my life. I didn't want to be on medication and just keep pounding ibuprofen and pain pills. That wasn't going to be the answer. So I want to get real, lasting relief. as thousands of patients will tell you. So I went over to QC Kinetics and talked to Dr. Ray Tesner. I even brought my dad with me and said, hey, he's got a bad knee too. He's at a little later stage in life. Could this work for him? QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies, including your own body's healing properties. That's what I wanted, to get healed up and do it the natural way. The choice is yours. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. They've got offices in Dublin and in Gehenna, or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
A single cloud can weigh 550 tons. A sports car fits inside a hippo's mouth. NJM Insurance puts policyholders first. Seems unbelievable, but it's all true and approved by legal. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit NJM.com for a quote.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Gear up for game day with GNC. Just like your favorite college team prepares for their matchup each week, you can get ready to crush your fitness goals with GNC. Your coaches are in stores, ready to help you build muscle like a linebacker or slim down after a tough season. They have everything you need, including all the top brands, the new flavors you crave, the hottest protein, pre-workouts, creatine, and more to tackle your fitness goals. Don't wait for the final whistle. Fuel your fitness at GNC. Visit your local GNC or GNC.com today.
It's football season, and Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for all the action on the gridiron. With a game-changing rewards program, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats ensures that every fan can catch their favorite teams and players in action. Vivid Seats has you covered with deals that cater to every football enthusiast. And all tickets come back by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Bobby played football for Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. Beamer played football for a drunk named Joe who worked at the gas station. You're listening to Morning Juice.
This year, FanDuel is giving you a big chance to win every Thursday night with FanDuel Squares. It's the same as Super Bowl Squares that you've always known, except it's only better. That's because your numbers aren't just randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourselves. You have a little 7-4, a little 1-4, 4-1. You can pick as many as you like. You're going to get to see the odds beforehand, and you can even bet them live during games. So what are you waiting for, Bob? Just visit FanDuel.com/juice. Bet on all the squares.
How about this? So plus, if you're new to FanDuel, you can bet $5. So that's a Lincoln. And you can trade that for up to 3 Benjamin's Beam. That's $300 in bonus bets if you win. Must be 21 older and present in Ohio. First online real money wager, only $5 first deposit required. Bonus issues, now withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Check with our good friend of the podcast. He is Burm. Burm, thanks so much for the time. Always appreciate it. How was the travel out to Eugene? Is it all right?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, overall, it's a long trip, but fortunately, I was able to fly direct out of Detroit, so it was not a big deal there and back. And then a little bit of a turbulence on the way home, but that's expected. We're in the middle of turbulence season.
So, Burm's one of the few guys that checks the weather traffic patterns to see if the plane and where they could divert and go around it. So it's been rumored, Burm, that turbulence was on the landing. You like to be able to maybe see the ground that you're about to hit before you crash to a fiery death. What's the thinking behind that as to why you need that window open?
I just think it makes sense to see where you're going, especially when you're flying in a tube that's traveling at hundreds of miles an hour and you're rapidly descending towards a cement ground. I just think that it's common courtesy to let people see how close you are to hitting it.
But you're not the one flying the plane, Burm.
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't need to fly the plane. I need to be able to just, what's my vector, Victor? You know what I mean?
That's my vector. So outside, the travel was good. Landing, okay. Coming back, you survived. You're good to go.
Beautiful weather, perfect weather all weekend out there. It was a great weekend for football.
What about the experience? What was the in-game experience? Like, you were down on the field, shooting the game as you always do. What was that like? Noise, ambiance, football environment?
10 out of 10, man. It's as good as it gets. I mean, 60,000 people were as loud as Penn State has been, and you know, I've been at Penn State for 3 whiteouts, and it was that sort of loud, and it was that sort of loud all game. The in-stadium experience was terrific. They knew exactly what they were doing. Their fans were involved and engaged the entire game. They weren't, you know, waiting at timeouts for something to happen. They weren't watching people race a mascot or anything like that. You know, it just felt like they had a plan for keeping their fans engaged and loud from the start to finish. And, you know, going into the game, I thought to myself, well, it's 56,000 people. The stadium's not particularly like right on top of you. That was a rumor I'd heard about Outson, that it's like, you know, very, very upright and very directly on top of the field. And I didn't think that at all. What it came down to is that I think that Oregon has a younger fan base, and they screamed their heads off the entire time.
He is Burm with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Sorry, Burm. For the actual on the field football, how did you like that from an Ohio State perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a game where you have to acknowledge a couple things. I think we have a pretty bad way in our business of not ever giving enough credit to the opponent. Oregon was really good. That was a team that was prepared. They obviously are very talented. They're not a top, you know, national championship contender coming into the season for no reason. Compared to the way like Oregon physically was when Ohio State played them 10 years ago, for example, it's night and day. They're a much different physically different football team than they were back in the national championship run of 2014. So I think it's kind of what you expected. I mean, the game was a 3-point number. It basically what you got was 2 really great teams, and Oregon made fewer mistakes than Ohio State, and that's how you end up losing a game by a point. I think it clearly exposed some issues that Ohio State has, maybe with some defensive creativity, so with some defensive pressure issues. But I don't think it's a game that people should look at and say, well, the season's over, let's just pack it up and send it and go home, because that's just not real life. I mean, there's still 6 games left in the regular season for Ohio State, and there's still every single goal that they had in front of them, every single opportunity that they had in front of them prior to the Oregon game still exists. So, you know, I know that there's people that are in a lot of pain inside the Whittier Athletic Center trying to figure out, like, hey, how did we not do what Idaho did against Oregon, or how did we not do against what Boise State did against Oregon as far as getting pressure on the quarterback? But that's going to do a little bit of soul searching over this week and next, and then you get right back to it. This is not, you know, it's big time football. If you want to be one of the best teams in the country, you're going to play the best teams in the country, and sometimes that means you lose.
So about a minute, Burm, as we kind of tie a bow on this bad boy. Watching the game, obviously, you said there were some issues. Anything in there that you think is systemic, unfixable, or does this Ohio State team, do you still have the same feelings-ish about what they can achieve and how good they are that you had going in?
I don't believe that anything is unfixable, but I do think that it requires some people to maybe change their philosophies a touch, and take a look at the actual talent that you have on your roster and how to best use them. I think sometimes Ohio State has been guilty of just saying we're going to line up our 11 versus your 11, and we're not going to try anything creative. We're not going to try to get multiple in any ways on offense or defense, and especially defense, because I think that's where the Buckeyes are most predictable. I think that's going to require some tough decisions between Jim Knowles and Larry Johnson and Tim Walton and even, you know, James Laurinaitis to figure out how do we put these guys in the best position, because I don't think that lining up Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau and running them straight up field at the quarterback is always the best way. I think that there has to be something else that you can figure out with those guys. And I'm not a X's and O's guy. I'm not a football coach like these guys have been for their whole lives, and so I don't pretend to know better than them. But it seems like every other team you watch has something up their sleeve, and Ohio State just seems content on rolling the helmet out there and saying, this is what we do and we're never going to change. And that does not seem to be working in the year of 2024.
Burm, I think that's a great point. We'll leave you with that. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Good luck with the jet lag here for the rest of the week, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. See you.
There he goes. Burm with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, watching a crash on 315 northbound, right as you're approaching 33. Expect slowdowns coming in from the south side. Also, I-71 northbound to 750 right near the Polaris area. Expect some lane closures because of a crash. And we're still watching slowdowns on I-70 westbound just past Kelton Avenue. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome.
Register for pre-sale access now at BuckeyeCountrySuperFest.com.
Yeah, that's how
Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m.
Lord, that's how I get by.
Does your vehicle need maintenance, but you don't have time? Krieger Ford's got you covered. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or we come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details. Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy.
Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush.
Plus top-of-the-line grills still in stock.
Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Bengals.
Live coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick It One.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football. The Fan.
There's a shocking new government report about the border crisis Sherrod Brown created. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, almost 500,000 convicted criminals have entered our country illegally, including nearly 30,000 found guilty of murder and sexual assault, including rape in their home countries. Now they are spread out across America because of Sherrod Brown's policies. But Sherrod Brown says,
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters.
That's because Sherrod Brown doesn't listen to voters anymore. And while our safety is being jeopardized, Sherrod Brown is making sure illegals get taxpayer-funded benefits, like health care for illegals who get amnesty, Social Security, even COVID relief checks, all paid for by you. 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Ready or not, here comes winter. You might need an ice scraper as you head off to your car today because it is a cold one out there with many of you down around that freezing mark. Today we're looking at partly cloudy skies, high 55. Tonight it gets even colder. We have a freeze warning in effect. Many of you dipping down to freezing or possibly below freezing. Tomorrow for sunny skies, high 62. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Just a couple of dudes being guys.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
Wrap things up here. Wednesday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter. Sharky out on vacay. Got Bodes doing a nice job. Uncle Bo and the boys going to be on after we're done. 9:20 here this morning with those guys. Aaron Portland, the Athletic. He's going to join them. Talk all things Jackets season opener last night at home. Very emotional night. We talked to Dean Evason, head coach of your Columbus Blue Jackets, a little bit early on in the 7 o'clock hour. If you want to go back, take a listen to the podcast, you can certainly do that. Porty's going to join them coming up here at 9:20 a little bit later on. We've got a crazy busy day here on the Fan. So Jake Diebler joined us in studio, head basketball coach of your Ohio State men's basketball program.
Go back and listen to that on the pod, Bean.
And go back listen to that on the pod as well. Rothman and Ice today are talking to Shefty and then are talking to you.
Oh, I forgot about that.
1:33. And they're going to do Hockey and Hounds with Damon Severson. And then at 6 o'clock for the Buckeye show, Ross Bjork's going to be in studio with Tim and DeVere for a whole hour.
There we go. That's going to be good. Tell Ross to make sure he takes a couple deep breaths in here. Hopefully DeVere's calm and mellow delivery will help offset Tim's excitement for what's about to happen.
Tim was actually watching our show on YouTube, commenting questions, wanting to ask questions to Diebler.
This wasn't ask the fans, Tim.
What did he say? Tim said, Deebs has me juiced with his energy for the program. I know we're going to love the backcourt. Even Glover, who he mentioned could be something. I think Stewart and Bradshaw will really be the keys. Thanks, Tim.
Deebs, Tim thinks Stewart and Bradshaw could be the keys. That's great. That's good.
How much do you take that into consideration? Bring in Schleggs as your rebounding coach and bring in Tim as the
assistant to the head coach.
Assistant to the regional manager.
Just consultant, just over there. He'll give you some ideas. Watches a lot of ball.
He does. I give him credit on that. I mean, that man does watch a lot of college basketball.
What's McConaughey for the Longhorns? Do you guys remember that title?
He does have
ambassador of the program. Ambassador.
Something like that. Yeah. That's what
I don't know if we could put Tim on Matt McConaughey's level just yet. He might have a couple years to go. Let him star in Dazed and Confused too.
What's your favorite? He's a professor of practice.
Professor.
What does that even mean?
It's kind of like the head breakfast coach meme.
Role of a lifetime. No, it says McConaughey became a visiting instructor for Texas in 2015, was initially promoted to a professor of practice at the Moody College of Communications in 2019. And then he does have some weird title.
Yeah, it's basically what I do over there. I teach at Ohio State.
Minister of Culture.
There you go.
He's the Minister of Culture.
Yep.
Do you think you have to be ordained to be the Minister of Culture?
100% you got to be.
He was the head coach of Marshall for a few years.
Hook 'em horns. Yeah. He was the head coach of Marshall. That was a good call. What's your favorite McConaughey character?
Oh, my God.
He is terrific in Dallas
Interstellar is...
Okay,
they don't make movies. Oh my God, they don't make movies like that.
I think they're actually re-releasing it in theaters, Bob. If you want to do like the theater experience of it, which I would highly recommend because I watched it in theaters for the first time. Told you didn't talk for like 90 minutes after the movie because my mind was blown.
So I went and saw Top Gun and the Maverick.
They don't make movies like that anymore either.
Like 7 or 8 times. We went back to see the re-release, the 20-year reunion of the Return of the King beam when they re-released that.
Oh, God,
I took my son. I mean, we got there at 8 o'clock and got home at like 12:30. Yeah. My wife's like, well, how long will this take? I'm like, you will be asleep. You would have fallen asleep halfway through. Problem was with that, and this would be the problem with Interstellar, it's longer, which I don't mind as long as I'm engaged, but I'll probably have some beverages during it, and then I'll miss parts of it when I have to go pee. I can't go 3 hours now drinking and no urination. So at home, I can pause it. We've got a pretty good surround sound.
December 6th. December 6th is when
it's my brother's birthday.
Return. Okay.
It's the day before Pearl Harbor.
It's a month before AJ's birthday.
It is. Well,
he's a Jan Sixer.
He's an insurrectionist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was born on that day knowing what would happen.
Correct. He really was. Yeah, you got to, maybe not, you don't even have to see it in theaters, but watch it. You got to watch it. You got to watch it.
All right.
You got to watch it. It's really good.
At what point do you think that's something I could start after a night game on Saturday night, like 12:30?
I say yes.
In the bag for about 8 hours.
It actually might be better.
I tried to watch the new Ring of Power. I made it through the recap of what happened before. And next thing I know, I was just waking up at 5:30 on my couch.
Wait a minute.
Thankfully I put my wine on the end table so my wife couldn't yell at me for when she rewatched the video from the night before, like 2 months ago when I woke up and I'd spilled my red wine all over my leg and the couch.
That happens to the best of us. Rust Cole, I think, for me is
Rust Cole. Rust
Cole.
Not Rusty, just Rust.
Rust Cole.
He is the best.
I think he's number one. Before we get out of here today, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. Do you think the acquisition of Davante Adams will be enough for the Jets to make the playoffs? Yes or no? I'll go with a big no. No, I do not. Yes. Oh, Bob.
I'm leaning in.
You're believing in your guys over there. Jets, Jets. I got the Steelers coming up on Sunday Night Football.
Saruman. He's going to be able to take over and build the stuff and produce some more orcs.
How'd that end for him?
It ended bad, but I said make the playoffs. I didn't say win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they could do some damage. Bob, I had so much fun today. What do you say we reconvene on a big Thursday if they allow us? You good with that?
Only if Jake's back.
Everybody have a great day. Uncle Bo and the boys are next. We're back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to break everything down. Have a good one. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Still watching slowdowns on I-70 westbound. There's a crash just past that Kelton Avenue exit that has traffic slow moving. Also, as you're passing Polaris, the ramp from 71 northbound off Polaris Parkway is slightly blocked off because of a crash. And as you're heading in on 315 northbound from the south side, right as you meet 33, we've got a crash that crews are working to clear up over there as well. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Is a fan action update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Duke and Florida State have met 22 times. Florida State has never been the underdog until this week. Florida State's a 3-point dog on Friday. Florida State's 22-0 record against Duke is the most wins without a loss with 2 Power 5 opponents. For your Prime Sports action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Bo Bishop here for my friends at Diamond Cellar. Ready to pop the question but don't know where to start? Visit Diamond Cellar's After Hours on October 17th for a night out with a DJ, drinks, and exclusive discounts on engagement rings and a chance to win OSU or CBJ tickets. Diamond Cellar's After Hours event October 17th on Sawmill Road.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey guys, it's Anthony Rothman. If you're feeling at a loss for energy or just not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But guys have different T levels, so don't go for a standard dosage plan. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. Do it now. Go to lowtcenter.com and book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Football is built on tradition, and so is the Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With a lifetime powertrain warranty on every vehicle purchase, you know you're getting a relationship that's built to last. Need service? Our Carvenience service takes care of everything, from picking up your vehicle to dropping it off when it's done, leaving you with a rental car in between. And with 4 dealerships and a collision center, Hinderer Motor Company is your one-stop shop for all things automotive. Visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it. But there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive